There we go. We are live. A good morning to everyone in Facebook land and social media land. Brendan, how we doing, mate? How's life treating you?
Good, thanks. Morning, everybody. Good to see you, Ste. And good to be back online.
Yeah, definitely. We're starting to get a regular occurrence, mate, isn't it? It's been good though. I think the feedback we've been getting from the sessions is been great. A lot of coaches just coming back and saying that's exactly what I needed to hear, or that's given me a load of clarity and direction. And ultimately, that's what it's all about. We don't just get on here for the sake of doing it. So when you're getting comments about coaches saying, "Oh, great, fantastic, love that," you know, it's hitting the right spots, and that's what it's all about. And it's what we do at SCE, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And at the end of the day, you know, building habits that serve you well is half the battle, really. We're going to get into that in this conversation today, but you know, incrementally just pushing a bit harder and tweaking certain areas can really make big differences, even if it's just like we are starting with one ECL every Friday, and you will have some slip ups. You won't maybe hit it every week, but it's the intention that's greater than the actual implementation. Sometimes you need that intention first, and then you will make it happen.
Absolutely. So before we jump into today's topic, because obviously as soon as we start, this one's something that's really big and close to us, but give us a bit of an update, mate. What's been happening in the world of BC, and what's been happening, bud?
Well, it's been a busy one. I've morning Tim, morning Heather. I training well at the moment, so I started a new sort of 20-minute session where I basically pick 4 or 5 exercises and do them 4 or 5 times for 20 minutes. So it's basically 5 by 4 or 4 by 5. And every minute you start the next exercise and do about 10 to 12 reps is the sweet spot for that. So started that earlier this week. Pick big exercises, bit of core in there, just pair things up and whatnot. Really good session. It's like the first couple of rounds, you're sort of like, this is easy. I'm going to put the weight up. By 13, 14, 15 minutes, it's like you're in a fight. It's like you're battling to survive. And then by the end, you've got the will to get over the line. So I'm going to do another one of those today. Very busy in SCE at the moment. Lots of stuff. We had a board meeting this week. We're looking at new things that we're going to plan into next year. So I'm not going to hang my hat on this, but we're looking at doing like an app, building some of the community and moving some of the community stuff over, like the Elite Coach Network, even the level 4 and all of that kind of stuff, to have an app and a community that you guys can all download, just stream it, just improving what we're doing. But you know, these things are quite big pieces of work. You want to get it right. So lots of thought and bits and pieces going into that. And socially, I think I said to you before, I was down at the London Watch Show this weekend, just gone on got a bit of a sickness for watches. I started collecting watches when I was in my, I don't know, single figures, buying watches and stuff like that. And then I had a long sabbatical when I forgot about it. And then in my 20s, I sort of got back on that train. And there was a big expo this weekend just gone, which was really, really good fun, actually. It was nice to get a little bit of headspace and separation. So yeah,
nice. Busy. Sounds like it's been a productive one, mate. Good.
Yeah, productive in a number of areas, not just work, but personal health as well. You've got to get the balance, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. No, it sounds like you got a lot going on, and it's in a good spot, mate. It's a good spot. So
yeah, and I mean, Joanne's just said there. What areas do you think need improving? I honestly, I think everything needs improving. You know, I think we've always got to improve. I think we do a great job, but for me, it's about thinking about how do we make sure we're still doing a great job in 2022, 3, and 4, and that's where you've always got to improve. You've got to be looking at current trends, seeing what might fit your business or might not fit your business, and making decisions and guiding the company in that way. So yeah, we're always looking at that, how we can make engagement a little bit better, how we can improve the sort of website and the infrastructure, the messaging that we give out, how we can get you guys to your goals even quicker. Is there something we could do? Can we have different types of conversations? Literally anything is up for discussion. And if you're watching this and you've got an idea for us or for me, send it over, info@strengthandconditionededucation.com. Just give us your feedback, give us your suggestions. And you never know, it might be implemented, and we'll give you a name check because of that as well, which is quite cool.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Because every time, I think the biggest thing for us, it's no different to our approach to athletes. You're constantly just pushing boundaries and constantly trying to improve. You don't sort of hit a certain number on a squat and say, right, we're done, rest on your laurels. It's like, how do we start increasing by 1%, 0.5%,
Yeah.
and making it all gross? And every time we say that, like, this is just the start, guys. We've got to a certain point. It's like, right, push on, next thing.
Yeah, it's like the easiest thing to do is rest on your laurels, and often you do that when things are going well, and I think it's when it's going well that you have to have accountability to say, hang on a second, why is it going well? Could it be going better? And how long do we think this is going to happen for? And so on and so forth. And it's actually a bit easier when it's not going well, or when it's not going as you want it, because that's an obvious time to reevaluate and talk things through and put a plan in place, and so on and so forth. So think about that as well when you kind of thinking about your own businesses and careers, guys. There's never a bad time to just pause and say, where am I at? Where do I want to go? What needs to change for me to get there?
Really important message, and I think it leads us on to the topic we're chatting about today. Just to put something out there before we dig into this, we're not saying all coaches are kind of failing in business or anything. That's not what it's about. This is a collective of stories and different scenarios we've come across within SCE, whether it be through the mentorship, whether it be the coaching pathways and stuff like that. Is one of the biggest reasons why kind of coaches fail within the business side of things. So we're going to kind of dig into that today, and I'm going to sort of kick us off with the first one. One of the top reasons I believe coaches do fail in business is clarity. And what I mean by that is we speak to so many people on the elite coach mentorship, even people within the level 4 when they just get started, or on our business mentoring programs. Very much it's like, so what is the goal here? What are you trying to achieve? Well, I just want to help as many people as possible. But is that male or female? Is it youth athletes? Is it, well, I don't know. Anybody. It's like, we need to get greater clarity here, because ultimately, if you don't have clarity on what it is you are trying to achieve, ultimately you will end up just chasing your tail and just spinning the drain, and because you won't have a specific direction, it's too broad. But once you've got clarity on it, then you can start to put your effort in and not get disheartened by trying to do everything in one go. I'm guilty as anybody for being a busy idiot at times, and the amount of times Brendan's had to slap me on the back of the head literally and just say, Steve, get your head out the clouds, focus on what you're trying to achieve here. So I think that first reason for me is that whole clarity piece on understanding what are you trying to achieve. And then once you start to think about what you're trying to achieve, then you know where you need to put your effort and your energy and your focus into.
Yeah, good advice. And I'm going to say goal a lot of times now, but Dan John, who has done lots of stuff with us, he has quite a funny but very, very profound phrase, which is, the goal is to keep the goal the goal. And in a sense, what he's saying is focus. The other stupid cliche or the other stupid acronym is focus, follow one course until successful. And they're kind of saying the same thing, that that, you know, we see bright, shiny objects all the time, don't we? And you start, oh, I want to do that. I want to go online now, or it's all about TikTok, or now I need to be selling high ticket, or now I need to be doing large group, or now I need bricks and mortar because they're all going cheap. That'll be the next one. You know, from the back of off the back of COVID, you know, I hate to sort of put that back into the mix, but we'll get people coming out now saying sourcing buildings for cheap, loads of buildings going cheap. You can have a gym in this building, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's great, but does it fit with your strategy? Does it fit with your vision, where you're looking to go? And clarity is so important that it's a constant daily habit. That it's not just a one-off, right? Let's sit down and get some clarity. It's not that. It's yes, you do need that, but you need to keep that vision clear. You know, as Dan John says, keep the goal. And if you're watching this, and we often get this of, well, I don't know what I don't actually know what I want. And you may not be somebody that has got that kind of very, very clear, crystal clear vision of, I want to open one gym, turn it into 10 gyms, turn it into 100 gyms and sell them. You know, that could be 25 years of your career. You don't have to have that type of vision. Your clarity, your piece of work to get that could literally be, I'm going to do a few different pilot projects over the next 3 to 6 months to find out what is right for me. So actually, for the next 3 to 6 months, I'm going to enjoy doing that. But you still need to go and do it. You still need to actually implement those pilot projects. And if any of you have been on our Elite Coach 5-day challenge, or even our ECM, the mentorship, yeah, that's one of the things we talk about, is what is that pilot project that takes you towards some kind of clarity? Because you might do a pilot project. Let's say you launch a Facebook group for, I don't know, obese people in their 50s, or parents of tennis players. You might launch that. A month later, you have the right to say, I don't like this. This is not for me. And that's great, because you've gained clarity by doing something and finding out that you don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. So this is the point, is phase one has got to be, what is going to be meaningful to take me forward? And it doesn't have to be an all singing, all dancing mission statement. It could literally be, in 6 months or 12 months time, my life would be better if I had $2,000 a month instead of $1,000 a month. If I had 5 clients instead of 3 clients. If I could give up my job, but I don't know how that looks yet. So let's build the plan, which is another one of the 5 reasons, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, exactly that. So it's always a big one, that clarity piece. And I think it kind of leads in well to the next bit, is one of the other reasons, or the next reason why we feel coaches kind of fail in business is the confidence. And it links so well to clarity, because how do you gain confidence if you don't know what you're trying to do? If you don't know what you're trying to achieve, how are you ever going to get confident that you're building the skills, or knowing the right direction, or knowing, no, I don't want to do that, or I do want to do that? So confidence for me is a big one. And a lot of people say, oh, well, what if my programs aren't good enough? What if I'm not going to put this post out there because other S&C coaches might shoot me down? Or, you know, I don't feel confident in front of camera. But 9 times out of 10, other coaches probably aren't reading your posts, or they might be reading your posts and saying, that's great, I wish I had the confidence to put that out there. You know, and then the people who are making a success of it is because they know exactly what they're trying to achieve. So what makes up confidence? It's competency and it's consistency. If you feel confident in something, you know your product knowledge, you know the technical knowledge, and you practice it enough, that's what breeds confidence. So I think that's the next bit, is addressing that confidence issue. So gain the clarity. That'll give you confidence in saying, no, I am doing the right thing, or no, at least if I'm making mistakes and failing, which you will, at least I'm failing forward. That's the main thing about that, you know. And then obviously the confidence piece is just keep on doing it consistently. Use that competency that you've got, do it consistently, and that's where your confidence will come from.
Yeah, I like that, Ste. And you know, when you've got clarity and you keep raising that on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, revisiting the vision, why you're looking to achieve it, etc. When you've got that, that can help you. That will help you get started because it gives you a burning desire to get things done. And sometimes that's what you need to overcome any sort of limiting beliefs or negativity you've got in your own mind about what you're doing. And then as you move forward, you start one thing, two things, little things. Some of these pilot projects we often talk about, they're deliberately designed to be the small step that gets you started. And so that small step done successfully breeds confidence, which breeds more confidence, raise the clarity, and suddenly you're an unstoppable force. But as I say that, I think, and you made a good point about posting and other coaches and the peer side of things. Yeah, that's what we're mostly scared of, isn't it, guys? Come on. We're not scared of are we good enough? We're actually scared of being criticized, and mostly by our peers. But I want to give you 5 words that are really, really important, and write these down really simply. The 5 words are: this is not for them. This is not for them. Whatever you're doing, it's not for the other trainers. It's for the people that you serve. They are not going to receive that message in the way that it's intended. You're writing for the people that you serve. You need to understand that everything that you do is for the people that you serve. It doesn't matter what some random PT the other side of the country or the other side of the city thinks about it. You're writing it for those people. We've got to have the confidence to say, this is not for you. This is not for them. It's for the people that I serve instead.
Really powerful message, that, isn't it? It really is.
It is. It's really important. It's like, forget the rest. You just need to write for one person or for one group of people.
And it breaks it down so much more into a manageable bite-sized chunk and that. So rolling on, guys, keeping this list going. And again, if there's any that you agree or disagree with, guys, feel free to drop them in the comment section. We'd love to get your takes on this.
Yeah.
You know, there we go. Tim's already said there, love this. There we go, mate. Keep that up, mate. Keep that mantra there, buddy. Okay. So next one, accountability, in my opinion, and what I feel is where coaches fail in business, is because we are, in our athletes, in our clients' eyes, we are the go-to. We are the person who knows about the training, knows about nutrition, knows about support and all of these things. We are seen as the fountain of knowledge, and we know all and stuff in sort of a lot of our coaches, in our clients' eyes and our athletes' eyes. But then sometimes because we're seen as that, we build ourselves up on a pedestal. I should know this, I should know that. So then that stops you reaching out to other people to then support you on your journey. So then once you've got the clarity on what you're trying to achieve, and you've made that commitment of saying, right, I'm going to go here, or I'm going to try these 3 pilot projects, as Brendan mentioned earlier, you best make sure you do it. And the best way you can do that is getting that accountability. So someone who is not emotionally invested. So partners are great and stuff like that, but when things are going wrong or it's hard, a lot of people around you who are emotionally invested in you, very much like, oh, so just put your feet up, don't worry, it's fine. Like, you don't need to change, you're perfect the way you are. You need somebody to go, no, keep pushing, or actually let's revisit this, let's change it up. Why is it a struggle? What do we need to do here? Somebody who can make sure that you said you were going to do this by this date. Why haven't you done it? Because that's why your athletes and your clients get results with you. So us as coaches, we need that as well. And I know I lean on Brendan. I lean a lot on the SCE team. I lean on my own mentors, somebody who can call me out when I'm saying, oh, I'm just tired or I'm not focused. And they're quick to jump down my throat and just say, stop it. This is just excuses. Get on with what you said you were going to do. It's kind of, it really is a big thing. It's the same as why our clients get results, the same as why our athletes get results, because I've got accountability to you, but who's holding accountability to the coaches?
Yeah, I mean, look, we all have days and weeks that are not as good or where we want to be, and that's totally fine. And growing your business, growing your career, growing yourself is no different to a client trying to lose weight, build muscle, get better at a sport. They have good days, good weeks, bad months, whatever it may be. So, you do need somebody to give you support and accountability. And it reminds me of one of I don't know if you guys watch this program. It's called Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it's got the creator of Seinfeld in it. It's like a parody on his life, and he's this really sort of belligerent character. And he goes to a dinner party one day, and he knows the family, knows the couple, and one of the people at the dinner party says to there's some puddings that are on show for later after the meal, and she says to Larry, this guy, she says, don't let me have one of those, Larry. Whatever you do, don't let me have any of those puddings. He's like, okay, yeah, no, that's fine. So they have the dinner, and then it gets to pudding, and the puddings are brought out, and everybody else has heard that scene happen, and she's like, oh, they look so good. Do you know what? I'll just have one. And Larry's like, no, you won't. No, you won't. And no, it's changed. It's fine now. It's fine. It's I'll just have the one. He's like, you asked me. You asked me to say to stop you having one. And the next minute, they're like fighting on the floor, which she's wrestling him for this chocolate cake. And it's really funny. But the point is, we actually need that Larry, don't we? We actually need that person that doesn't fold and say, oh, well, you're doing really well. And the arm round the shoulder is fantastic, but you do need the accountability to say, no, you've signed up to this. You've signed up to this. And that's why, like, when I did some coach training many, many years ago, the Institute of Leadership and Management, and there was a group there. So there's a group of us that showed up, I believe it was once a month for a year, something like that. And on the wall, we all signed a contract together to say that we would hold each other accountable, that we would be at the group, that we would behave in a certain way, that we would speak from the heart, that we would challenge people in a healthy way. And it was really quite powerful signing on that contract on the wall that everybody could see, that says you will turn up, you will deliver, you will support, you will challenge. And we need that, guys. We need accountability. It cannot just all be you're doing really well, even though you're not where you want to be. Don't worry about it. We need the accountability as well. So yeah, good one.
Yeah, that's it. So, and a nice little comment from the rear there. There you go. Doesn't make us blokes feel awkward at all, does it? So, so next one, guys. One of the top reasons why coaches fail in business. So, you've got the clarity. A client comes to you, or an athlete comes to you and say, right, I want to get stronger. I need to get faster for my rugby team. Okay, great. You teach them the technical skills. They get more confidence. They feel better under the bar. They feel better sprinting. You're holding them accountable, and they're turning up to the sessions. But if you're stood there going, maybe we'll do some deadlifts today. Maybe we'll do some, you need to get strong, so we'll do some deadlifts, or we'll do some squats, or we'll do this and that. You're going to get strong, but it's like, what's the plan? You need to follow a plan. And it's no different in business. You might know exactly where you're wanting to go. You might be confident in your niche and your product knowledge and, being able to work with over 50s or youth athletes or whatever it may be. You might have somebody there who's going to support you and get you through it, but you need to have a plan in place. And it's always difficult because we don't get taught this on our level 2 and 3 and stuff like that in terms of business. We don't get you taught in school how to write a business plan. So it's like, well, where do you start? But you need a plan of how are you going to get the first 10 people into your coaching business? How are you going to get that first 10 people into your community? How are you going to get your first £500, your first 50K, your first 100K? What is the plan? You need to have a plan in place, because as we mentioned before, you need to look back and reflect and measure it and constantly refine, tweak, and adjust and go, I need to improve here, I need to improve there, let's level this up. You can only do that if you've got a plan that allows you to move forward, measure, reflect, refine, and then go on again. So a plan is the next biggest thing. And I think a lot of people shy away from it because it's very difficult at times, because you have to ask the challenging questions of how much money do you need to make? What do you need to have in place? Are you going to commit to a marketing plan? Are you going to commit to speaking to 5 people a day or even 1 person a day? All of these different things can make it very scary. So a lot of people in business stick to the sets and reps and stuff, but they never look at the business plan of how are you going to get forward? How are you going to get your goal?
Yeah, that's it. And it's fact that businesses with plans, business plans, succeed much more than businesses that don't have a business plan. That is an absolute nailed on fact. Many pieces of research have shown that. And at the very basic level, it gives you commitment to follow the plan, because you get lost otherwise. But you're going back to your point about turning up in the gym, and you still need a plan to get strong. The very simplest plan to get strong would literally be, you need to pick heavy stuff up and put it down again. We could have a plan that just says that, but then you still got to do it. If you don't pick heavy stuff up and put it down again, you're not going to get strong. When we start looking at that plan, pick up heavy stuff and put it down again, it's then different questions of, how do you pick it up? How do you put it down? How many times do you pick it up? How much do you rest? And that's the nuances of the plan. And but that simple plan of just pick heavy stuff up and put it down again, that's probably not going to work if you're already squatting 2 times your body weight. That's going to work if you've never lifted anything heavy. So it's exactly the same in business, and when you're building your career and when you're building your client base. The milestones that it takes, if you've got no clients, the real simple plan is go and speak to people and ask them about their training and invite them to become a client. That's your plan. But you still got to do that. And then the questions are, how many people do I speak to? How do I speak to them? How do I ask them to become a client? So that is why we do the products and the courses that we do, because that is a phase 1 business plan. Go and have meaningful conversations. But let's talk about how you do that. Let's give you an accountability plan, and let's give you some tactics about what those programs look like. What are you offering, and so on and so forth. But that'll only take you so far. That's a plan to get you going, to get you started, to get your first few clients. Then we need to think about, how do we get you to 50K a year? How do we get you to 100K a year? And the plan changes. The plan evolves as you grow and you develop. But if we start with a plan that would get you a 250 grand a year online coaching business, it's too much. It's overwhelming. Just like it would be saying to a client, this is the plan that allowed my previous client to squat 2.5 times body weight, but you've never squatted. That's not that's the wrong plan for you. So when we talk about business and career, it's all about your personalized plan. It cannot be a cookie cutter. This is what we do. We need to break that down. You can say, go and have meaningful conversations with people that might be interested, but what does that look like for you? And that's a really important step within that plan as well, Steve, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it leads on, well, you mentioned it a few times. The final reason that I think underpins all of these, and it's the will. It's the will to succeed. Knowing that this is going to be tough. I have to stay committed. If I want to get strong, I'm going to have to pick heavy stuff up and put it back down, as Brendan said there. That we need to commit. If an athlete comes to you and say, right, I want to do this, okay, great. You're going to have to go through this, though, to get to the end point. The sessions that you don't want to do, the late night or the early morning sessions, the monotonous road work that you might need to do as you build your aerobic base, the boring trunk rehab, prehab type work that isn't particularly exciting or sexy. You need to do it. And it's no different to building your business. There's got to be some stuff that you just need to have the will and push on. You might not enjoy setting up landing pages, or you might not enjoy crafting the vision and putting more meat on the bones of the plan, but you have to do it. You have to keep on moving forward. You owe it to yourself, the people who you're trying to serve. Because remember, the more successful you are in business typically means you are serving more people. If your goal is to help as many people get stronger, lose weight, or build confidence or empower them, surely you want to do that with as many people as possible. But you've got to show up. You've got to have the will to become successful in whatever it is that you are wanting to do. Now, success looks very different for everybody, and that's fine. But make sure you are committed with that. Right, I will turn up every single day, make this commitment to the business and the people I am trying to serve.
Yeah, good point. And that brings it back to the start of, if your clarity is not there, your will won't be either, because you'll fall off the wagon and it won't happen. And that's, we talk about impact and income, don't we, Steve? Like, you want to serve as many people as you can, but very often that's not a now goal for you. We all want that. I'm sure everybody listening in got into this industry because they want to help people, but that's great. But right now, income, food on the table, lifestyle changes for yourself is just as important, because the short term, we are all inherently selfish people. And I'm sorry to say that, it's all about you as well as it's all about them. And so, are you getting what you need from your business, from your career right now? And if not, need to make some changes. The other thing I'd add to this, that's sort of addition to the will piece, but maybe it ties it all together as well, Steve, is courage. It's having the will, it's having the plan, it's having the clarity. But when you got the clarity, you quite often get, that little anxious feeling in the pit of your stomach that's sort of like, oh, but it's going to be hard. I've got to put myself out there. I've got to take some risks. And that is courage. You can't do anything great without taking risks, because the bottom line is, when you're trying to step into the unknown, you have not been there before. The clue's in the title. It's in the unknown. And when we move into a sphere or a space that we don't know the outcome, it creates nervousness and anxiety. But that's not a negative. That's your body saying, get ready. We're going on a journey. You need to be prepped to perform. And that is why you want to be working with coaches. That's why all the top athletes, when a boxer hasn't won a world title, he needs a world title or a world champion, ex-world champion in his corner to show him the way, to talk about the things that he's going to experience. And, the best athletes in the world all have coaches in their corners. Why don't we, if we're trying to build really cool businesses and really cool things? And it's the same as, that's why you can't have a friend or you can't have your partner doing this, because they're too close to the action. They're too close. They're too personally invested. You actually need somebody who can call out your own BS and knows when it's a shoulder to cry on or it's a kick up the backside. And that's really, really critical. So when we put plans together, it's about de-risking it as much as possible. That's why we break things down, talk about the pilot projects. Can you do something really small to learn from, that makes sure that the next step is better informed rather than just jump into that next step. But understand this, the risk is still there, even if it's minimized. The risk is still there. And I think, for me, if you want to do something great with your life to impact people and give you a fantastic business, income, lifestyle, something that you're proud of, and all of those things, there should be risk. You should have to invest into that, everything that you've got, because by default, why would you be proud of yourself if you haven't? So take the risk and make it happen, but understand it is going to be there, and all you're doing is running away from it if you don't.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like the way you've just summed it up there, and I think it is crucial of what we say, you know. So, guys, just to recap, what we talked about there, the top five reasons. So, number one, we had clarity. So, get clear on the goal, what it is you are trying to achieve. Confidence, the next bit. So, consistently turning up, building your levels of competency will help with your confidence. Accountability, making sure you've got someone there who can give you the kick up the backside or the shoulder to cry on. Have a plan in place. It might be a really, really simple, straightforward plan to start with, but you've got to have a plan in place. And will/courage, you've got to show up. No one's going to do this for you. Could have a great idea, but unless you act on it, it will always remain an idea. So have that courage to keep going forward and keep pushing on with it, guys. You know. So I think there's some real good bits there, guys. So if anything sort of rang true for you today, guys, or if there's anything that you're thinking, right, I'm ready to learn more about how do I take my business forward. Okay, so we've got a few things coming up very, very soon, and if you want to learn more about, we've got a Train Athletes Get Paid live event coming very, very soon, and we've got some other great business products coming your way. If you want to find out more about them before we put them out to the full market, get yourself onto our VIP list, so know more about it, get access to the discounts before they come. I've just put that in there as a link. Enter your details and we'll get you onto the VIP list as well. So when these come out and get launched, you'll get access to them before anybody else as well. So if what we've talked about today resonates with you, now is the time to have the will, the courage to take action. The first action, find out a little bit more. If you've got any questions, reach out to us. That's the first thing. Don't just take on what we've said and go, yeah, that was pretty cool, and then sit on your hands and do nothing. Now is the time to take action, reach out, have the courage, have the commitment to say, do you know what? I hold my hands up. I don't have a plan in place. I don't have that accountability partner. What does that look like? Reach out to us. We're more than happy to chat you through that. What does that look like and how we can help you get all of these top 5 reasons cleared out the way and get them addressed so you will not fail in business.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really looking forward to these events, and Train Athletes Get Paid is such a cool weekend. And the most important thing is all of that stuff is critical, but bringing people together, you'll be amazed spending 2 days with like-minded people, everybody building the business, everybody with the same goal, how empowered and how confident and how supported and together you feel doing that. And it really does act as a catalyst for many, many months to come. So yeah, take a look, and hopefully we'll see some of you guys at one of those events. And thanks for everyone's comments today. Appreciate it.
Defo, thanks again for turning up, guys. Remember, we're here to serve you. So if you've got any feedback, reach out to us. Myself, Brendan, the SCE team, we're more than happy to help, guys. Okay, so but go out there, go make it happen. Make this year the best year possible, guys. And we'll see you again very, very soon.
Thanks, guys. Comment below with which of the 5 is the most relevant for you today. And maybe courage as well in there too. And then take that away. All right. On that note, have a good one.